Hello and welcome to Busy Healing, Episode 4, Journey to the Beginning of Your Existence. You are probably wondering why there's a whale in the bedroom. Well, here is why. In many shamanic beliefs, the story of origin is that we have been planted here on earth as specks of dust and that we do indeed come from the stars. And we have been brought here in a cluster of stars that were shaped like a whale. That makes the whale our first mother. Also, it makes the whale the vessel. And so the whale, therefore, is quite revered. So that is the story. And because we're coming from the stars, and it therefore makes sense to see maybe along the way there are messages or maybe there are lessons that I just haven't figured out. And this is very different to a past life regression, which we will be talking about in a later video. What you can do is use a tektite, and I'll show you what that is. These are tektites. I don't know if you can see them, but these are tektites. These are actually pieces of meteorite, right? And you only need one. Okay? So you're using tektites. They're actually quite inexpensive. And then you take one in your palm, and sometimes they can turn quite cold, and sometimes they can turn really hot. Once you have touched the tektite and you know that you have made a connection, it's really a knowing that you have. You don't have to hold it at all. If you feel it is uncomfortable for you to hold it, by all means place it next to you, right? But I'm quite used to these little tektites, so I'm gonna hold mine. Sometimes you will be surprised if you hold this for a long time and you do a journey with them, that they will actually change color and then somehow return back to their original sort of blackish kind of color. And what you do is you would close your palm and then say to your guides, because this is the idea, you close the palm, you have to take it in your palm and you close your hand, and it signals to your guides that you would like to be shown your beginnings and maybe sort of being brought backwards on a journey. So what you do is you hold it like this and then you say, bring me to the beginning of my existence, or take me to the beginning of my existence. And then eventually what usually happens is quite quickly you will be brought up into the heavens and then journey. And it can be in a way like a movie going backwards, and you know, and then every now and then the film, as it were, stops, and you see bits and pieces that show you very likely very repetitious stuff. He says, oh, I have done this before in another lifetime, and this has happened to me before, so this is what I have to look out for in this lifetime. And it can be quite profound, because you will sometimes even be shown the planet that you're from, and sometimes also the beings that inhabit it. So it's quite profound, and I have to say this before you go on a journey with your tektites to the beginning of your existence. This is not for beginners. If you have never done a journey and you go to the beginning of your existence, you are in for a treat, but also you could be in for quite a shock in that sense, because these journeys are really powerful. You could feel the weightlessness as you are in the sky. The temperature could change. Loads of things can happen along the way, and if you're not aware that they are maybe just a part of your journey, you could be scared, and then the whole journey won't necessarily be worth it. So my advice to you would be to start off with other types of meditations, and then eventually get a tektite and ask them to bring you to the beginning of your existence. The other thing that is really important is, once you understand that you are from the stars, is to honor the whale. So, and that just would mean, for instance, that you do not support places where they are in captivity, and that you're very, very careful how people talk about the whale. Oftentimes they are described as being not beautiful, and when they are our mother, in that sense, they're the most beautiful being you will ever encounter. So, negativity goes a long way, and it's really important to understand that there's a real relation a real relation between yourself and the whale, even though it was a cluster of stars in the shape of a whale. So that's quite important. I hope this sort of helps. Like, just to recap, these are called tektites. You only need one, and you will connect with them. And that's all we have time for today. See you next time.